In this context, it is pertinent to note that the Indian medical system, traditional medical system, Ayurveda, since its roots were in the philosophical investigation into life, it contemplated on the faculties of Atman, that is the soul, and Manas, the mind, along with the system and functions of human body, the Sharira. Ayurveda repeatedly emphasizes the crucial role of mind in maintenance of good health and causation of diseases. They say, prasannatmena manaha swasthya ityabhidhiyate. If you are prasanna, you are swasth. In the Ayurvedic treatise Charak Samhita, it is stated that there are three fundamental motives or biological human instincts called eshanas among human beings. These are praneshana for life preservation, dharmeshana, worldly desires, and paralokeshana, other worldly visions, and there is intricate relationship between them and the health. Similarly, in Sushruta Samhita, the learned surgeon asserts that it is the soul that reflects itself in happiness or sorrow, health and disease when it acquires a particular body and acts in the material domain. Any medical approach should therefore give due consideration to the mental states of mind, that is called chitta vritti, that generate the psychosomatic impulses for physical ailments. There is marked difference between the reductionist approach and the holistic view so far as concept of health is concerned. In the case of the former, illness is seen merely as malfunctioning of the body and its limbs, like components of a machine. On the other hand, the holistic view regards that a disease is the result of disharmony at the elemental level, not limited merely to particular space, time, or circumstances. The malfunctioning is also related to individuals' social, cultural, spiritual environment. It is related to this also, environment. It was therefore that over the ages, preventive and curative methods like fasting were devised in the Indian system of medicine as living traditions of communities. Similarly, spiritual therapies also became integral part of the traditional Indian medical system for the health. It is noteworthy that some of the modern scientific studies, like brain imaging techniques called single photon emission SPECT, have dealt with the genetic and curative role of the yogic and spiritual practices. Some age-old beliefs, application of musical therapies, etc., have also been explored with positive results. The philosophy and science of yoga therefore rightly preaches importance of containing and regulating the wild waverings of the chitta vrittis. Yoga chitta vritti niboda. This is the first sutra of Yoga Darshan. This is how yoga has been defined. Although all this was said in the context of spiritual pursuits of the ancient Indian philosophers, yet the science of yoga developed by various schools has over the last few decades been attracting the attention of modern medical systems. It is noteworthy that all the six principal schools of Indian philosophy, Vedanta and Jain, Bauddha, and Sankhya, and whatever you call, main schools of Indian philosophy have asserted that the soul is different from the body and its original nature is pure and peaceful. They also agree that consciousness is a metaphysical entity having moral dimensions. The spiritual perspective of consciousness was also emphasized by Greek philosophers, who held the view that soul has cognitive abilities which generates energy. However, the credit for developing the science and practices to realize the existence of the soul, because soul has to be realized. It is not a commodity. It is not a different thing that you can identify at some particular point. You can't do that. So this is our traditional philosophers. They, through their contemplation, meditation, they conceived all these things. Also, although there is divergence in the systems which they devised, since it is based on their own perceptions and realizations or practice, great emphasis has been laid on the inculcation of moral qualities and having the experience of the self through meditation and yogic practices. In order to illustrate the relationship between yoga and the medical science, I would like to present the yogic formulations in Preksha Dhyan, a stream of yoga developed by Jain philosophers. Arun Bhai has in details. He has spoken about it. I will not go into the details, nor I can go. His experience is far more than me. Detailed. But let me say, you narrated your experience with regard to leaving smoking. I can vouch that for about 40 years I was taking tambaku. And when I came into contact with Mahapragyaji, he advised me, yes, you can do it. How? He said, through anupreksha. Don't do it right today. Have the anupreksha for 3 months. So I was telling myself every day, I have to leave, I have to leave. And whenever I met him during that course, he would ask me, Kar rahe ho? Yeah. He said, you will be able to do. And one day, that he fixed, I left it. After 40 years, it can be done. And therefore, I mean, it depends on person to person, I think, how much he can. But yes, it can be done. That is the point. An aphorism from Jain canon, Sampike appakavappa enam, see thyself. It means one should perceive and realize through mind concentration what lies into one's consciousness. Perception is not mere thinking. Perception is not mere thinking. It enables you to reach the inner depths of your consciousness. The course of action or steps to follow in Preksha Dhyan system are as follows. This is for general viewer, people. Kayotsarga, total relaxation of the body with self-awareness. Antaryatra, internal trip of the consciousness through concentration on various limbs of the body. Perception of the body, focusing on each limb of the body and feeling its nuances. Perception of psychic centers situated at certain points of the body. Patanjali Yoga had identified 7 such centers in human body. Preksha Dhyana Yoga has extended this number to 11 through subdivision. These centers are specific points where psychic energy is more concentrated. They are as follows. Jnana Kendra, the center of wisdom. Shanti Kendra, center of peace. Jyoti Kendra, center of intuition and enlightenment. Vishuddhi Kendra, center of purity. Ananda Kendra, center of bliss. Tejas Kendra, center of bioelectricity. Swasthya Kendra, center of health and vitality. Brahma Kendra, center of celibacy. Apramad Kendra, intelligence, center of vigilance. Prana Kendra, center of vital energy. And Chakshush Kendra, center of vision. I would suggest to you that all these things I have taken from Muni Mahendra Kumarji, and he has written very, very elaborately on this subject with his personal experience, and some of these things were inculcated into me when I came into contact with him. And of course, I was a student of Arun Bhai's workshop in Delhi at some point of time. So at these points, ductless or endocrine glands like gonads, adrenals, etc. are located, and they exert profound influence on mental behavior of an individual. Through visualization, specific colors are perceived at the above stated points, and they are meditated upon. Anupreksha, through the process of visualization and auto-suggestion, one selects and sets in mind on particular theme, a wish, as I did. I want to leave that. A wish or a value system that, no, I'll stick to this value. Whatever is the circumstances, I'll stick to this value. Ye kaam main nahi karunga. And this is a value. You can stick on that and contemplates on that. This strengthens his willpower. The most important point to be noted here is that Preksha Dhyana Yoga is a science of realization through practice, with due patience, and not merely a matter of conviction through logical or technical formulations. However, there is scientific basis for all, that is envisaged in Preksha Dhyana Yoga. To illustrate the point, one can take the example of stress or tension, the modus operandi of which is through the mechanism involving hypothalamus, pituitary glands, which are called the master of endocrine system, and the adrenal gland, to keep the alert, the sympathetic component of our system. Similar is the case of perception of breathing. Nature has bestowed to humankind a mind with a faculty of discrimination and reasoning, which can control his responses to the force of dictates of instinctive drives like anger, hunger, sex, etc. It has been proved through experiments like biofeedback and through other measuring instruments that meditation has the power to produce changes in the electrical activity of the nervous system as well as to transmute the synthesization of the outpourings of hormones produced by endocrine system. Serious practitioners of Preksha Dhyan have found that on physical level also, it has helped cells of the body to revitalize, improve digestion, respiratory mechanism, but the real benefits of Preksha Dhyan are in the fields like mental, emotional, and spiritual. The sum and substance of all this is that in order to enjoy perfect holistic health, one needs to invoke his inner forces, innate forces of soul and mind, along with physical treatment given as prescribed by medical science. Yogic teachers, they teach us how to activate our innate resources. In this context, we should also consider the role that spirituality can play in achieving holistic wellness of the human beings. As per Bhagavad Gita, as they say, rationality and ethical discipline with worldly matters come through yoga. The concept of holistic health is also related to adherence of human values which evolve from the spirit and pulsates in the heart of man and not in the material world around. That would also ensure social health, which requires constant interaction between the inner spiritual impulses and the social environment around us. Many ills of the modern world are related to the lack of interaction. I would like to conclude my presentation with a quote from Swami Vivekananda's famous speech on Karma Yoga. He says, I quote, "The miseries of the world cannot be cured by physical help only. Until man's nature changes, physical anomalies and problems will always be felt. The only solution of this problem is to make mankind pure. Let men have light and be spiritually strong, and then alone the miseries of the world would cease." I remember Acharya Tulsi was invited for the centenary celebrations of the World Congress in Chicago. He could not go because he doesn't travel. But he has sent a reply to the questions that were posed. And he said that, look here, you want to change the society and you want to address the society as a whole. This cannot be done. It has to be done on personal level with the cooperation and participation of everybody. Unless you change the man, you cannot change the society. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lele. I invite the last speaker of the session, Dr. Vimla Vyas from Allahabad. She will be talking to us on the art and science from the theory to the practice. Very, very important aspect.
Age names to all the enlightened individuals. I would like to speak on the topic Art and Science of Meditation from Theory to Practice. In my opinion, it should be in the panel of Science and Ethics, but it is here in experimental workshop, so it's okay. Because some of the things Dr. Pratap already discussed yesterday in that session. I have divided my presentation, my lecture on few points. First of all is defining meditation, and second one is the basic approaches and different forms. Third one is the science of meditation, and fourth is the effects of meditation, physiological and neurophysiological. And fifth one is the future directions for effective meditation research. I would like to start with the quotation of H.S. the Dalai Lama, Science and Spirituality. The more modern science and the ancient science of mind come together, the more our knowledge will be expanded. Then eventually we can educate humanity on the importance of our inner world, our mind, in order to promote peaceful families, a peaceful society, and a peaceful world. That is the motto of this conference, I think so. You can define meditation in different ways. You all know that because meditation is a complex cognitive task. It is more than relaxation, concentration, contemplation, or posturing. Through it, one achieves enlightenment, illumination. It's a state of altered consciousness that is fourth stage, according to some neuroscientists. Scientifically, if you see, meditation is essentially a physiological state of demonstrated reduced metabolic activity, different from sleep, that elicits physical and mental relaxation and is reported to enhance psychological balance and emotional stability. You already know in Western philosophy there are prescribed three states of consciousness. Those are sleep, dream, and wakefulness. And here, in Eastern philosophy, an additional and probably higher state of consciousness has been described, the so-called fourth state of consciousness, the state of thoughtless awareness, that state of enlightenment, illumination. In the words of Sri J. Krishnamurti, I want to say what is meditation is. Meditation is a hard work. It demands the highest form of discipline, which comes through constant awareness, not only of the things about you outwardly, but also inwardly. This is the point to be emphasis given on. If you see the basic approaches of meditative practices, there are two main basic approaches. Those are concentration meditation, and second one is the mindfulness meditation. You all see all the meditation practices based on these two approaches only. You can say Preksha meditation, you can say Art of Living, Sudarshan Kriya, you can say Kriya Yoga meditation. Any meditation, these two techniques can explain all the meditation programs. Now I'm coming to science of meditation. There is some quick history of science of meditation. Herbert Benson, USA, in 1975, he has written a book on relaxation response. Body changes during stress, you can see that saliva flow decreases, eyes pupils dilate, lungs, quick deep breathing occurs when you are in stress, food movement slows down, blood pressure increases as major vessels dilate. And if you see the skin, blood vessels constrict, chills and sweating starts. Heart beats faster and harder when you are in stress. Output of digestive enzymes decreases if you are in stress. And muscles become more tense, trembling can occur in muscles. Here, Professor Benson has given, in his book, The Relaxation Response, he has given this comparison of relaxation response and stress response. Relaxation response is exactly opposite of stress response. What stress produces, relaxation reverses that. Through meditation, we all are doing that process only. I'm not going in detail. If you want, I can share the slide also and I can discuss afterwards. Now we have to see the effects of meditative practices. First of all, I am going to describe physiological effects during meditation. This is the physiology of meditation. If you meditate, oxygen intake or oxygen consumption already slows down, and you breathe slowly when you are practicing meditation or you are in a regular practice of meditation. Your respiration slows down. Here is the sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. In meditation, our parasympathetic nervous system are more active when we are in a position of rest and digest. But if you are in stress, then our sympathetic nervous system is more active. Professor Rick Hansen, he is doing research in US University, and he has written a book, Buddha's Brain. This is a marvelous book. He has written, it is translated into 25 languages. You can go through it, and you can go through all the details of mind, body, and soul. And what is the relaxation response? What is the love, kindness, and compassion meditation? Everything he has written in that. If you change your brain, you can change your life. You all know that. Great teachers like the Buddha, Mahavir, Jesus, Moses, Muhammad, and Gandhi were all born with brains built essentially like anyone else. And then they changed their brains in ways that changed the world. You all have seen that. Science is now revealing how the flow of thoughts actually sculpts the brain, and more and more and more. We are in the process of discovery that is going on regularly. Here is the meditation neural effects. In neural effects, you can see the increased gray matter in the insula. Insula promotes introspection, self-awareness, empathy for emotions, and there is also gray matter increased in hippocampus that improves visual spatial memory, establishing context, inhibiting amygdala and cortisol. Prefrontal cortex also have grown in gray matter increased in that also after meditation. Executive functions, attention control, you can improve. Reduced cortical thinning with aging in insula and PFC. Your aging is also stopped or it's very slow if you are doing regularly, you are meditating. Increased activation of left frontal regions which lifts mood. Increased gamma range brain waves may be associated with integration, coming to singleness, unitary awareness, and preserved telomere length. This is also from the Buddha's brain. Next one, please. Now, the neurophysiological effects, recent findings, long-term changes in brain anatomy, which have been seen by the practicing meditationers. Meditation practitioners may have thicker cortex in brain regions associated with attention, introspection, and sensory processing, including the prefrontal cortex and right anterior insula. Meditation might offset age-related cortical thinning. This work has been done by Professor Ledger et al. In 2005. It has been mentioned in Neuro Report. Next one. This is the